One more attack on the Russian capital, one more strike on the center of power. President Putin can no longer shelter the people of Moscow from the realities of war. The scene is beginning to look routine. Streets closed, residents looking skyward after a building in Moscow is hit by a drone. The 21st floor of this tower in the Moscow city development was struck overnight, although the Russian military said their air defenses had thrown it off course. But that seems unlikely. It was the second time this building, containing government offices, was struck in 48 hours. No one was injured, but it has unsettled some.
It's unexpected that it hit the same place for a second time. Now I don't want to come here to work anymore at all.
We saw ambulance, police and so on coming here from the window at night. It's very frightening because you wake up at night hearing explosions.
The Ukrainian president, Volodymyr Zelensky, says the war is gradually returning to Russia's territory. And the geographical expansion of this conflict is a key ambition for Ukraine. It's thought Ukraine has been targeting locations in Russia and Russian-occupied territory since the invasion began, like the electricity supply in Belgorod, oil facilities in Krasnodar, and infrastructure in Crimea, including the Kerch Bridge, linking the peninsula to the mainland. But the city of Moscow is now within their sights. The first attack took place in early May, when 2 drones landed in the Kremlin complex, and another 20 drones have followed, although Russia claims it shot down or diverted them. However, the blasts at the prestigious Moscow city development have sent a powerful message to everyone who lives there.
The Russians want to essentially sustain this war longer than the West can keep up support to Ukraine, and therefore this is a way of the Ukrainians making ordinary Russians unavoidably aware in Moscow day to day of the war, so that it becomes something that's much more difficult to ignore and just kind of put away into the back of people's heads.
You know, this is interesting. Western countries do not want Ukraine using their weapons on attacks inside Russia. So Ukraine's been building its own army of drones. The country's prime minister announcing a $1 billion investment program at this event last week. But Ukraine's arsenal is far smaller than their enemies, and their enemy uses missiles and drones on a near nightly basis. This building in Kryvyi Rih was hit by a Russian missile on Monday. 4 people were killed, including a 10-year-old girl. And that is part of the continuing tragedy of this war.